Second time trying this. It would not let me go live a second ago. I don't know if it's a YouTube thing or what. It looks like the audio is working. Y'all let me know if you can hear me or not when you show up. Right now, I think we've got really nobody in here because it's pretty early. I'll give it just a second and then I'm just going to jump into stuff and hopefully everybody shows up as we go. I want you to know we'll be talking about Elon. Obviously, we'll be talking about Donald Trump. We'll be talking about Joe Rogan, Kash Patel. We got a little Benny Johnson in there and a lot of other random things that are going on right now that we need to discuss. But we got played, all right? For those of you, I'm guessing y'all can hear me. 5 by 5, thank you. So for those of you who were here yesterday for the conversation of Elon Musk and President Trump just going batshit crazy with each other on X, on social media, I told you yesterday, right? I said, this is planned. This is on purpose. This is not them acting stupid. Like, obviously they were acting stupid. They're acting like children, but they were doing it on purpose, right? And I said that. I said it's for whatever reasons. But one reason that for some reason I didn't think about or really understand, it's not that understand, I didn't think about the fact that the ratings on X were very, very low lately, okay? Since the election has ended and President Trump has gone into office, the viewership on X has gone down significantly. For somebody who uses it all the time, again, the app, not the drug, I have noticed a massive change on that platform over the last couple months of the algorithm just going bonkers and not making any sense at all anymore, right? So then I forgot to bring it up here. Where is it? Where's X? So I'm looking on there today. I went to go check to see exactly what's going on with Elon and President Trump, because yesterday at the end, after we got done talking, I saw a thing where they were supposed to have a phone call today. They were going to sit down and talk to each other, you know, and try to really hash it all out. There's nothing to hash out. This whole shit has been planned, right? And the reason I say this is because I'm just going to show you. Oh, did I save it? No. Let me go to Elon's account here on X. And I just want to show you the things that he has just posted up in the last like hour or so that you fully understand exactly what this is about. Because Elon reposted this. Where is it? Here we go. X, the #1 news app in the USA. And it says, breaking, X is back at #1. I wonder how that happened. We all know exactly how that happened. See, the problem here is that we all get played. I mean, I'm part of it and I'm fully aware of it. I understand when we're getting played, but I didn't really think about it from the aspect of this was all designed to bring people back to the platform. Because we talked about it yesterday and I said, if you're not on the platform, you're not going to know what's happening. Mainstream media is probably not going to start talking about this immediately, right? If you're not on the platform, on Elon's platform, you're not getting everything in like real time, like as it's happening, because that's the fastest upload. It used to be people went to TikTok, and I guess they still do for videos, but for like words and pictures and things like that, it's X that people go to first. And so yesterday, with the onslaught of the back and forth between Elon Musk and President Trump, a lot of people were going back over there, right? And I told you that this was all planned. And it didn't occur to me to think about the fact that it was planned to drive viewership, because that's what it is at the end of the day, back over to the platform, right? So everything's happening over there. And then later, you know, obviously it's going to hit other apps like YouTube. We were later with it. Benny Johnson went live with it, I think either right before I did or after I did. Mainstream media got in on it, but mainstream media, even they have to have their writers write it. They have to have all of the editing so that they can show you everything that's going on. So they're still not as in that moment as it is on the platform itself, on X, right? So when I see Elon posting this today, that breaking, X is back at #1, I'm like, there we go. Well, now we know what the main purpose behind yesterday was. I still think it has a lot to do with Elon trying to basically, between him and President Trump, to get the left to ask for all the things that they have been trying to push for the entire time, right? Which is the Epstein files to be released, all these other different things, and the big beautiful bill, one big beautiful bill, to get pushed or to have it halted so that it can be sliced up into littler pieces. I think if they want it halted so it'll be sliced up into smaller pieces. one big, beautiful bill sounds great, but it will never get passed because there's too much going on in there. And so with this whole thing yesterday, with Elon coming out and saying all these things about AI, coming out and talking about Epstein files, talking about EV money coming away, all these different things, it feels like it's designed to make the left really, really notice and pay attention and make them start squawking, because like they're a bunch of chicken heads, right? Make them start squawking about everything. So now you have Chuck Schumer and all of them posting about how we need the Epstein files out. You have yesterday, Kash Patel was on Joe Rogan yesterday as all of this stuff was happening between Elon Musk and President Trump. He's on Joe Rogan. He's doing his interview with Joe Rogan. So he's not on the platform. He's not answering a work phone right at that point in time. He is focused on Joe Rogan. Well, Joe Rogan is paying attention and he is seeing what's going on. So he brings it up to Kash Patel. He's like, hey, by the way, this is what's happening. And I can't show it to you on here because I'm pretty sure Joe Rogan would be copyrighted. I'm not positive, so it's easier for me to not do it just to be safe, right? And this is what happened. So I'm just going to kind of show you. No, don't play the volume. Stop it. I'm just going to show you. So this is Joe Rogan, right? And it says, Elon Musk tweet about Trump being in the Epstein files was posted while Joe Rogan was interviewing Kash Patel. Patel was clearly caught off guard. And Joe Rogan, he says, JC, short for, I'm not going to say it. And then Patel says, I'm not participating in any of that conversation. And Joe Rogan says, well, JC, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Does he have access to the Epstein files? To which Kash says, I don't know how he would, which is what I told y'all yesterday. I don't know how he would even know about anything in the Epstein files, right? But Patel says, I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump Elon thing. That's way out of my lane. I know my lane, and that ain't it. Which, again, for me, is confirmation that whatever is going on between Elon Musk and President Trump is planned. It is something they are doing together. Now, I do want to point out to everybody, let me get out of X to bring up Truth Social. I do want to point out to everybody that there's a lot of reposts, retweets, or whatever the word is, over on X, where people are reposting things from Donald Trump. And if you're not on Truth Social, you're not going to know that these posts are fake. There's posts about ABBA and like, Elon, give me back my ABBA disc. There's other posts that they're saying that Donald Trump said, which he never did, because you can go over. It's really small on the iPad. I don't know why it does it this way, but it's really small on the iPad. But the last thing that Donald Trump himself put up about Elon, I'm going to show you here. Let me just, because it's been a couple minutes. No, where is it? Secretary of, no, that's that. Inspected the ballroom that we built. That's that. June 6th, D-Day. That's that. Congratulations to the chairman. Great job in numbers. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. We're almost there, because he did post about Elon yesterday, but he's not going back and forth with him the way people on X want you to believe with the posts that they are putting out that are not accurate, not real, not something that he posted himself or that he said. This is what he said. This is Donald Trump's post on Truth Social. He said, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness. Make America great again. That's what he posted yesterday, right? And there's not, the only other one that he really posted, which I read to you yesterday, and I'm just going to go and read more. It says Elon was wearing thin, but he has wearing thin in parentheses, right? So to me, that means that it's so that it's not really what he means. It's, it can be taken any kind of way, right? He says, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. And that in and of itself is why I think that it is all planned, because Elon knew all of these things ahead of time. Why? I don't know why the audio is bad. Listen, this whole YouTube thing was messing up earlier. I tried to go live twice and it wouldn't let me. You know what? Hold on. F it. We'll just start yelling at the phone. Let's undo this. take out. Okay, can y'all still hear me? Like, will this work if I just yell at the phone? Let me know how that works for you guys, because I just undid everything. If it's still crackly, then that is YouTube in and of itself, as opposed to this is better. All right, we'll just keep going. Better. All right, I love y'all. Thank you for letting me know. But either way, the whole thing with Elon and President Trump, to me, is still something that, I mean, it's died down today in and of itself. So I have to assume that what was going on was 100% planned. And now that X is back at #1, it has outranked now YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and whatever else is out there. I think that was one of the major pushes as well for yesterday, to bring X back into the forefront of where people were going for their news, for everything else, because so many people have left due to the algorithm being absolute trash, right? Now, this one with Kash Patel, hold on. No, let's go this one. Okay, so Scott McFarlane, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's with CBS News, so, you know, whatever. He posted a couple hours ago that shortly after Elon Musk's social media posts, U.S. House Oversight Committee Democrats formally asked FBI Director and Attorney General for the Epstein file info. So they sent out a formal, you guys can see that there, a formal letter to Kash Patel and Pam Bondi requesting the Epstein file info, which again is exactly what I think they were trying to get done. Because listen, put it this way, when Elon said that President Trump is in the Epstein files, he didn't say anything negative, because we all already know that President Trump will be in the Epstein files, because he did ride on Jeffrey Epstein's plane when I think his plane broke down. He took Jeffrey's plane for like an hour and a half or something, not to the island, but to Mar-a-Lago, if I'm remembering all these things correctly. So when Elon goes, you know, President Trump or Donald, or however you call him, DJT, is in the Epstein files, that's not breaking news. There's nothing new about that, and it's not him saying anything negative. It's not, he did not come out and say, you know, President Trump's a pedo. He didn't say any of that. What he said was what he said, but then people start running with it to use it in a negative way, but it gets the left now asking for the rest of these Epstein files. And now, because the left is asking for it, we're actually getting a little bit more information out of Kash Patel about the Epstein files. But this is what happened. So yesterday, this was written and delivered from the House Oversight Committee, and they said, "Dear Director Patel and Attorney General Bondi, we write with profound alarm, all right, at allegations that files relating to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein have not been declassified and released to the American public because they personally implicate President Trump." But again, we already know that Trump is technically in the Epstein files because of that one plane ride. This is nothing new, but it gave the left a reason to make something of it, right? It says here, on June 5th, 2025, Elon Musk, the former senior advisor to the president and head of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, a component of the executive office of the president, posted on the social media platform X, at Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public, which we are, you know, we ask that you immediately clarify whether this allegation is true and respond to this letter with the requested information and documentation. It says, following President Trump's January 23rd, 2025 executive order directing the declassification of federal records surrounding the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr., Attorney General Bondi moved to release files relating to the criminal prosecutions of Epstein and, I can never say her name, Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's close personal associate. On February 27th, 2025, AG Bondi released the first phase of these declassified Epstein files, including multiple flight logs from Epstein's personal plane and contact books kept by Epstein. These documents were subsequently released to the task force on the declassification of federal secrets with extensive redactions. And then there's a little bit more, but they're basically saying that because Elon Musk brought it up, now they want all this information, right? So then Kash Patel is on Joe Rogan, and he says, again, this is the video, but I can't play it for you just for copyright reasons, just to be safe. It says, FBI Director Kash Patel says there's no Epstein Island video showing elites committing crimes, and if there were, you'd see it. You'd see it being the quoted part from him. Joe Rogan asked a question millions have been screaming for years: is there video from the island? To which Cash answered bluntly, not of what you want. If I had it, I'd be the first guy to bring this case hard and fast. Wish you'd use different words there, but anyway. He claims, meaning Kash Patel, claims they've reviewed everything under lawful access, which immediately gave me pause. You are the director of the FBI. How do you not have lawful access to more? This is the one thing that does throw me, the phrasing of it, that he has gone over everything under lawful access. Well, who else would have access to stuff that you don't have access to, right? Like, I feel like that's the problem right there. That is a bit of a problem. He says they've combed through the files, and what they have, he says, is nothing. Not the kind of bombshell the public has imagined. No smoking gun, no list, no footage of the world's powerful doing the unspeakable. And for those who suspect a cover-up, Cash insists he's not the one. He says, this is his quote, I got here 100 days ago. I can't be held to account for 20 years of failures, which, I do agree with. He says some tapes may never have existed. Others may have been destroyed. But if you're hoping the FBI has an ace up its sleeve, the message is clear. Don't hold your breath, is basically what Kash Patel told Joe Rogan. So I'm sure the video is already up. You guys should go watch it over on Joe Rogan if you want the whole entire thing with, Kash's voice behind everything we're talking about here. But there's no surprise there. But the fact that this information comes out because Elon makes that post about President Trump, it's something, right? It sucks that you have to have somebody say these things or post these things in order to get a little bit more information. Like that little, what is it? I do this all the time, but Oliver Twist, may I have some more, please, with like the little bowl of porridge. It's the same kind of thing. They give you a little bit at a time, and that little bit it gives you is enough to like whet your appetite, but not really enough to do anything or prove anything or disprove anything either, right? So you have that, and then, but wait, there's more. Look, it's hard to scroll on this thing. I'm not even gonna lie. Then on top of that, Kash Patel says that his house got swatted yesterday, and it's like, you're the director of the FBI and you got swatted. Like your people swatted you. Like there's questions there at the same time. Very curious how that happens. But Elon posted yesterday, I didn't get to show you guys this one. Elon reposted this. Somebody named Jason over on X said the Trump administration should recognize Elon's point about the budget and build a bridge with him and the majority of Americans who want to see us cut spending. Here's what they, and then he said, here's what the admin should do. And he says, we hear you, Elon. We are going to sharpen our pencils and iterate on BBB, the big, beautiful bill, to address the Americans' people's concern over the debt. Take off the ramp, to which Elon reposted it and just said, exactly, right? Exactly. So Elon is trying to say that there should be more cuts to spending because that's the whole point behind Doge. The whole point behind Doge was that he was going through and finding all the fraudulent spending, all the money that was being wasted through our government for things that did not matter, right? And for some reason, I still feel like this is a thing between Elon and President Trump, where they're working together in order to get the left to also scream for these things that Elon's now posting about, so that then when they either decide to say no to the one big beautiful bill and it has to be cut up into little different things, that then President Trump can come through with more spending cuts and it'll get passed, right? That's what it feels like to me personally, that this is a mind game that is being played and the left isn't smart enough to understand that they are being played. And at the end of the day, we, the people, meaning us, the ones who back our government of President Trump and, making America great again, we will reap the benefits of the president being able to do the things that he ran on for election, that he has promised the whole time. And yes, it's going to benefit the Democrats as well once all these things go through. But if you we already know that he can't just say, hey, look how great this is, because Democrats are going to fight him tooth and nail no matter what. It does not matter what he would say. It could be the best thing in the entire world. They're going to fight it because they don't like him as a man, not because they don't want the things that he wants to bring. I think they're mad that they didn't do it first, that they haven't done it, and that they didn't, they just don't like him. And that's probably what it comes down to, because he doesn't play their game, in my opinion, and he's not a puppet like the rest of them were. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, Pelosi, I mean, Elizabeth Warren, freaking Chuck Schumer, all of them. What's his freaking name with turkey gobble neck who falls down all the time? Mitch McConnell, all of them. So I am not upset with yesterday's kerfuffle was the word I used. I'm not upset with yesterday's kerfuffle on X between Elon and President Trump, because I think it's all designed to get every single thing that we want out of the Democrats, and this is the only way to do it, is to make them think that they are doing something that the president doesn't want, for them to think they're doing something that goes against MAGA, right? Like, again, how MAGA is considered a bad thing. Making America Great Again has been turned into the same thing as using the N word with a hard R. Like, how is this at all correlated, you know? But that's how they act about it, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So we have that. Then on top of that, where is it? We already talked about Epstein and Kash Patel and what he had to say. So then President Trump had a phone call with CNN. That also should let you know exactly what's going on. So President Trump had a phone call with CNN, to which he says, and this is his quote on CNN, "I'm not even thinking about Elon. He's got a problem. The poor guy's got a problem. No, I won't be speaking to him for a while, I guess, but I wish him well." Again, for President Trump to go on CNN and say these things, it helps push what Elon wants with the left, because the president has taken his voice over to the left and told them that he's no longer friends with Elon, right? So now Elon is able to get the left back on his side. Now, you know, instead of vandalizing Teslas, they're going to go back out and start buying them again. Instead of crapping all over SpaceX, they're going to be the first ones trying to buy tickets to Mars, like all this shit, because wishy-washy all day long. The president would not say that, especially on CNN, if there was not a reason behind it. And it is all a game. It is all a game at the end of the day, and we're going to see exactly how it's going to play out. On top of that, JD Vance posted earlier today. He said, "There are many lies the corporate media tells about President Trump. One of the most glaring is that he's impulsive or short-tempered. Anyone who has seen him operate under pressure knows that's ridiculous." The reason I save that, and the reason that's important, is because he is not impulsive like that. He is not short-tempered. He is not going to make split-second decisions that are going to harm everything. So when he is saying the things that he is saying to CNN during whatever broadcast he's doing, in a Truth Social post, there is thought process behind it. There is reasoning behind it. He has thought every which way possible on how this could go, from the good, the bad, the ugly, left, right, up, down, whatever. So I think, again, in my personal opinion, that this is something that they are doing together and for the greater good of all of us, but this is how they have to go about it, right? Just like when you're a parent and your little kid doesn't want to eat the strained peas or the carrots, you lie to them and tell them it's spaghetti. You mix the shit in, you put vegetables in your pasta sauce, you mix a little bit, you do the, here comes the airplane, and the second they open their mouth, you give them the vegetables instead of the applesauce. This is the same damn thing. They are basically force feeding the Democrats exactly what they want them to have, but packaged as something totally different. That's all it comes down to, right? My personal opinion. Where is this? See, this is what I want you to know. This here, right here, Donald Trump, and if you look underneath, it says this is fake. Trump did not post this. And this is what I was telling you yesterday. This one said, I'm going to read it to you. I knew it was fake the second I saw it without even having to check it, because again, this is not how far he would go. But it said, "It's sad to come to this, but the truth must be known. I was the one that gave Elon that black eye." Already, I knew it was fake as shit, right? He got sassy and I had to put him in check. Really? Also, I know I told you Teslas are cool, but they're actually quite girly cars. Wouldn't be caught dead in one. Very gay. No, never would the president put that out there? President or not, he would not put it out there like that. But people are taking these things and reposting them because AI can make anything. There is going to be videos, I'm sure, at some point that you can't tell if this is Elon or President Trump talking, if they're actually fighting, if this is a real conversation, any of this stuff, right? Anyway, so Ann Vandersteel, I'm sure you guys have heard of her. I follow her on X. She's got a lot of good stuff. And she even said, she posted this a couple hours ago. I saw it after we had our conversation yesterday. She said, my well-considered opinion is that the Trump-Musk scandal is staged. And I'm like, I'm glad to see that other people are looking at this the exact same way I am. She said, created to bring much-needed attention to the failing X platform, a platform many have left because of the vicious and harmful algorithm, which is exactly what I said. Fun fact, none of this had to reach the media. It was let out deliberately and purposefully, which I said, to get people reading their feeds and tweeting again. We're living in the matrix, and this is just another psyop, which is exactly what it is. And maybe, I'm playing into it, but I'm playing into it in the sense of we still need to understand it and know about it, right? I'm not playing into it in the sense of, oh no, Elon Musk is trash. Oh no, President Trump is trash. Because another thing people are not paying attention to is the fact that if you were on social media yesterday or you've seen any videos about this stuff, right? You can see who really is for President Trump and who is not, because there's so many people that started talking shit immediately yesterday against either Elon, against President Trump, against America, against all these different things. And it's like, do you not understand that this is another way for them to basically flush out the rhinos? These Republicans in name only, these people who were, oh, I'm so pro MAGA, so pro Trump, so pro Elon, because it benefited them on some platform or other, whether it's YouTube, whether it's X, whether it's Facebook, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't really matter. The outcome of everything that has happened over the last 24 hours is going to, in my opinion, again, a lot of this is my opinion based on also the stuff I'm showing you, which is considered fact, I guess, because it's like here, I don't know. My opinion, what's going to happen is you're going to see people's true colors, because that is what a lot of this is designed to do, to show you the true colors of people. Cat Turd, I don't know if you guys ever see him, I think it's a him, on X. Alex Jones reposted or posted something about Donald Trump and the Epstein files. And Cat Turd was like, F Alex Jones. If he's sitting here calling President Trump a pedo, then he has been a fake whatever from the get-go, blah, blah, blah. Well, today Cat Turd came back out on X, and after Alex Jones made a whole nother video basically clarifying that he knows that President Trump was not part of the Epstein Island shit, and he wanted the president to clarify it. Cat Turd came out and he's like, my bad, I'm sorry, I jumped all over you. He goes, but I am MAGA and I am President Trump all the way. He goes, I'm not going to let some vicious or rumors circulating take me away from what I believe in and who I back and everything else. And I feel like a lot of people yesterday, just because of the stuff going back and forth between Elon and President Trump, were easily flipped like a light switch. They're like, oh shit, turn that off or turn that on. You know what I mean? It's too easy to sway people who don't actually have patriotic bone in their body. I feel like that's the right phrase for this. Right? Y'all know, I've told you 10,000 times, I'm going to tell you 10,001. I am a reformed liberal. I used to be a libtard. Before, in President Trump's first term, I was not a President Trump fan because I was paying attention to mainstream leftist media. I didn't know any better. I was asleep. I was not awake at that point. Then Biden gets into office and my brain's going, wait, hold on. I don't like any of this. None of this makes sense. I feel like I'm being played. And so I started looking into things on my own, and my opinion has changed 100% on everything. Do I still have libtard tendencies? Probably. I think we all do at some point. You can be as Republican, conservative as you want to be, but at some point in time, I think we've all kind of written the line between the two, depending on what the thought process is or the topic is or the whatever else. Like for me, I don't think that, there's anything wrong with gay people. And I lose subs every single time I say it. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with being gay. love who you love in your house, right? In your house. You don't see me out here with my husband doing weird things. I don't think gay people should be out doing weird things either. That's my thought. But I don't believe in the transgender stuff. So you could call me liberal in that sense, but at the end of the day, my thought process on how this country should be run, how Americans should be treated, who should come first, which is America, has changed immensely after realizing how much mainstream media lies to you and takes these little clips of what they want you to hear, what they want you to believe, and they spin it around to where you don't realize that you're not getting the truth on anything because you're getting these little snippets. The mainstream media is why TikTok works so well. People have a short ass attention span, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, and then they take that for face value. They don't worry about what came before that 30 seconds or what came after that 90 seconds. And that's why we have so many dumb fucks running around this place, because they're not paying attention to the before and the after, and they're only paying attention to what they're shown and what they're told to believe, right? So my thought process over the last few years has changed significantly, and I feel like a lot of people are in that same boat. But there's a lot of people yesterday who kind of showed their ass on how they are more willing to go with the ebb and flow than they are to stick to their guns and to what they say they believe, because they want to be on the side that's trending, or they want to be on the side that is going to get the most views or whatever, right? Any of that stuff. So that's that, y'all. Anyways, I just did something weird. I put my arm out straight and it tingled all the way from here all the way down into my thumb. That's weird. Like that, I don't know what that means. That kind of felt weird. Does that ever happen to anybody? Because that like weirded me out for a second. And so I'm like rubbing my hand because that was just really weird. Anyway, so on top of that, let's see, what else do we have? What else do we have? Anything about Elon and them? No, but there is this happening now. So Benny Johnson posted this up about an hour ago. It says the FBI has been deployed to downtown Los Angeles to assist ICE with a raid after liberal protesters started threatening agents. So, you know, that's always fun. Yeah, maybe. I did, I see you guys answering what could have happened. I did Pilates yesterday and it was a different thing than normal. And maybe I pinched something because it just feels weird, or carpal tunnel. That's a huge thing. The job I had before in corporate America was a lot of lifting heavy things and a lot of writing and a lot of whatever. So that's also possible. Man, getting old sucks, right? I might need to shift a boobie also. Somebody said you need to shift it. These jokers are heavy. It does happen. Anyway, that's not the point. Everything that's going on with Elon and President Trump, we'll be keeping an eye on. Oh, that's what I want to tell you. This is the last one, and then I'm gonna let you guys go because it's been over half an hour and it's getting dark out. Kash Patel also said yesterday on Joe Rogan's podcast, or earlier today on Joe Rogan's podcast, which I'm going to watch the whole thing later. You guys should as well. It says, Kash Patel reveals the FBI has obtained Fauci's phones and devices from during COVID. And he said nobody had found them until 2 days ago. We're not done. We're on the case. Things are about to get real. So again, everything that was going on yesterday on X, I told you, was a distraction from all these other things. So we weren't paying attention to what's going on with Ukraine and Russia and them bombing the shit out of each other. We didn't know that the Fauci's stuff had been found, which who the hell hid it and why was it hidden? That should tell you something there. Epstein file stuff, a little bit of everything. What's in the one big beautiful bill with the AI thing, all kinds of stuff, right? A lot of stuff going on. So anyway, we'll be keeping an eye on that, and I'll save some more stuff for tomorrow. I had more that I was going to talk to you guys about, but it is getting dark, and I did not potty before we started this, and so, you know, bladder of a squirrel go along with the attention span of a squirrel, so we're going to have to go so I can go tinkle. So, y'all, I love you immensely. Thank you for being here. Somebody says, what color is your nail polish? I don't know. I went in and I said, I want peachy beachy. Like, that's what I said. I never know what they're going to give me, but I effing love it. It makes my hands look real tan. So yeah, that's it, y'all. I love y'all. And, oh, white van. Peggy Sue said white van. The white van, thankfully, was not there for me, which, you know, it says a lot about me that I was worried about it. I don't know what that means, but they pulled forward right towards the end of our live stream, and then a bunch of ladies and kids came out and put groceries into the back of the van. So they weren't trying to abduct me, which is good, but there's two grown-ass men in the front of this van, one of them shirtless, and they're just sitting there, and it's like, Okay, this is weird. Y'all are staring at me. So what the hell is happening? It was very, very weird. Anyway, I love you guys. Y'all have a good rest of your night. And I will see y'all again sometime tomorrow. Don't know when, but it'll happen. We'll probably go live because I like live streams better. But I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good night. Goodbye. Adios.